Hello, and welcome to another one of my talks, my devotionals. The devotionals have been more sparse lately just because of various busynesses and sicknesses and weather and all those things. So I'm sorry about not getting on as often as I'd like to. I'm hoping that'll come around here soon. Anyway, we'll take what we can get. So today we're looking at Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. We've been, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold again. But we've been looking at Proverbs chapter 8, which is the whole chapter is kind of structured around this idea of wisdom talking to us. So it's a personification of wisdom, but she's talking to us and just saying about the relationship we can have with wisdom. And so she's going through all these things, and excuse me. And by the time she gets to verse 13, which we're going to look at today, she says this. So it says, the fear of the Lord, speaking of God, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogance and the evil way and the perverted mouth. I hate. Wisdom, hate. So wisdom hates pride and arrogance, the evil way, the perverted mouth. Wisdom hates it. If you're wise, in other words, if you have a relationship with wisdom, you are going to hate these things as well. They're going to be things that you don't want. Now, the word hate here it's not speaking about this idea of like loathing. It's not that kind of hate. It's in the Hebrew language, small language from the ancient world. They use the word hate to refer to that feeling of loathing sometimes, but they also used it to mean a thing I reject, right? So I reject that. I don't want it. I'm antithesis to it, right? I'm against it. And so the idea is, if you're a wise person, if you have a relationship with wisdom, you will be against these things. You will be against, because wisdom is against pride and arrogance, the evil way, and the perverted mouth. Now, it's connecting that idea with the first part of the verse, which is the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. We remember back in chapter 1 and I think chapter 2, this phrase, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That the fear of the Lord is connected to a relationship with wisdom, being able to recognize a proper, healthy fear of the Lord is wise. And here's wisdom she is saying to us. And what that means is to have a rejection and antithesis to evil, to be against evil. You don't want it. If you're going to be a wise person, you've got to reject evil. Now that's a good important thing. Why is this a connection? Why does this have to happen? Why is the fear of the Lord of God connected to the hating of evil? And the answer is simply because evil is the stuff that offends God. It's stuff that is anti or contrary to God. Now, we as humans, we can tend to think that evil is the stuff that offends us, right? We can look at the world and we can think, oh, that's an awful thing. We all agree. Therefore, it's evil because it offends our sensibilities, what we, the society of humans think, or what we, the individual, think. We can say something is evil because we're offended by it. But what the Bible is teaching us is that no, that's not it. That's not how that works. That's self-righteous, right? You might say proud. You might say arrogant. See where this is going? But no, but the actual truth is that evil are the things that offend God, that are against God. And so realizing and recognizing that I need to fear the Lord. In other words, I need to respect that He is the one who defines all these things, defines what's right and wrong. He is the one whose nature defines goodness. And so if I come to a respect and a fear of that, a deference to that, then what I need to do is hate the things, the evil, the things that are offensive to Him, rather than simply what's offensive to me. If I look at or what's offensive to society, if I look at society and I do it on that grounds, then the second part of this verse applies. Pride, arrogance, the evil way. It's all part of the evil way. The perverted mouth, in other words, not saying what's true, twisting what's true. That is evil. That is itself anti-wisdom, and that leads us into self-righteousness. Really, really bad place. Really bad things. The elevating of a self above God is the most foolish thing we could ever do. Wisdom begins with the deferring to God's greatness, with the humbling ourselves before God. in every way, recognizing him as the definition of goodness and thus the definition of wisdom, honestly. Um, Self righteousness in our world right now is epidemic. Everybody decides what's right in their own eyes, and our society suffers for it when we don't see there being a higher power, a higher moral good than our own sense of what is good or what our society senses as good. That if we don't defer to a higher good, i.e., God, then we become self righteous. And in my country, Canada, that is definitely a problem. We have a very self righteous view of the world here in my country. It's sad to me. But I think it's everywhere. I think all the countries of the world are really struggling with this right now. And I think all the individuals, at least in the Western cultures, are really stuck on defining what's good by what offends us. And if we think it's offensive to us, then in our pride and in our arrogance, we call that evil, and we don't fear the Lord. So that's not wise. That's foolishness. Because the beginning of evil is to fear the Lord, and the fear of the Lord is to hate what He sees as evil. Something to think about today. I hope you have a good day, and just dwell on that a little bit. Where do we get our sense of right and wrong from? Because it needs to come from God, or it's not right. It's perverted in some way, and so something to think about. God bless each one of us as we try. God willing, I'll be on tomorrow with verse 14. Have a great day.